Hello and welcome to another episode of the Classical Republican. Today we're going to be doing a video reaction to a video from the Wall Street Journal. And this is really interesting because they're promoting Georgism. So you'll remember that I just did a bunch of videos on distributism and Georgism. And a lot of landowners don't like Georgism because of the land value tax. And so we're gonna watch this from the Wall Street Journal.
Just 6 blocks over, this luxury apartment building is taxed at nearly double that rate. The city's all
Okay, so similar size in area, but one is actually very taxed at a much higher rate because it has cool stuff on it.
all over the country are marked with empty or sparsely built sites. Some economists say they share a common factor, a tax system that combines low taxes on land with high taxes on buildings. Here's a closer look at that system. The often overlooked housing shortage. To understand the tax system, let's head back to 701 Trinity Street. Located in the heart of Boston, a 0.2-acre parcel is valued at over $13.7 million. For decades, the lot has only been used for parking, and the owners have paid relatively little time. Yellow Property Group owns the vacant plot of land. They do not respond to a request for comment. So traditional property taxes, perversely, disincentivize the kind of use that we want to see in our cities. When you're taxing improvements, you're signaling to the market that you don't want improvements. Josephine Foss is the executive director of the Robert Schockenbach Foundation, a nonprofit research organization that advocates for property tax reform. So it actually affect the way that people use land or choose not to use land, which is something that might not initially be, obvious about property taxes. When landowners improve their property by adding room, for instance, their taxes go up. In some cases, these taxes can be as much as 7 times higher for a developed piece of land compared to an empty lot.
Basic premise of property taxes in America is very simple. It's basically the government will try to figure out how much is a piece of real estate worth, and then based on that value, real estate is a good tax.
Presumably, the owners of more expensive buildings would be able to afford more expensive rates, but some economists say the system has an unintended consequence. It makes it easy for people to take up properties and then just hold them until the value increases, sell at a profit, right? So the buy low, sell high, but without doing anything in the interim, including building housing. Over the last few years, Texas home prices skyrocketed. In January, almost a median home price was $525,000 for the realtors, a 36% jump from January 2020.
So housing shortages have always existed in cities like New York. What's really changed in the last couple of years is that you're seeing more of this issue. So it also really checks the case of the Sunbelt city that's now running housing shortage. So it used to be an affordable place, and now it's really one of the most expensive.
But despite rising demand for housing, developers struggle to find sites to build on.
Developers paradoxically demand, but even those lots of also people just don't sell.
Has more than 17,500 vacant lots zoned for residential use. The state analytics firm. In Atlanta, Georgia, there's more than 13,000. And New York City has more than 77,000 lots that are vacant or less than half the size of what zoning allows. That's a lot of untapped potential. If the owners of all the vacant lots in Austin develop plans to match the current density of the city, they could add over 1 billion square feet of housing, according to an oldest group estimate. That's equivalent to about 384 Empire State Buildings, for over 800,000 additional apartments. So into this issue of affordable housing or housing accessibility. One solution proposed by lawmakers comes in the form of land value tax. This cases a higher tax rate on land while reducing taxes on buildings. In theory, this system would reduce the profit that comes from owning a vacant piece of property. is set up that you can make money by improving the land that you've just been sitting on or selling it to somebody who wouldn't. It's going to happen. Research suggests this type of taxing system has increased building activity in cities like Pittsburgh.
Studies actually show that they had more construction in Pittsburgh relative to other neighborhoods that didn't have this.
Still, fairly assessing the value of land for taxation is difficult. Some economists say it's simpler to assess it based on their income producing ability. There are also political hurdles to implementing a new tax system.
One of the big challenges in America is that often
Okay, it's buffering. They're talking a lot about the parking lot. They're really focusing on this parking lot, but a lot of people like parking lots and not parking garages. That's really, there's people out there like that. So, and they will come before your city council or planning and zoning and tell you so. So that's really surprising.
under state law, companies can't decide taxes. They basically have to
When it comes to building more housing, some developers say land value tax may only make a small difference. There's like restrictive zoning laws and rising material costs also play a role in construction. Despite the challenges, one city, Detroit, may soon implement a land value tax if approved. Lawmakers and housing advocates say the crucial test case for the tax policy.
in the biggest city in the history of America. Changed
Right. So that was really interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting for several reasons. One is that this is the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal, I think it used to be a really fantastic newspaper, financial news, but I think they've got a little bit more partisan. They kind of have an agenda. So yeah, but they're coming out for the land value tax, at least in this video. We'll see if they continue to do this. But they're framing this in this video. They're framing it as part of the housing shortage, and I think that's really important because everybody deserves housing, and everybody deserves affordable housing, and that in a lot of places that's just not a thing right now. I don't see how my children, growing up and leaving in the next decade or two, are going to be able to afford housing unless something really drastic happens. So that's yeah. So it'd be really interesting to follow this thing in Detroit, this land value tax, and see how it works and how popular it is. It's definitely not going to be popular with certain sectors of landowners. It talks about how it incentivizes property improvements, and so that's a good thing, and how it disincentivizes land speculation, which is also a good thing. You shouldn't be incentivizing land speculation, and you see that a lot, especially in Western cities in the United States. You see a lot of land speculation. You can drive through any town and see properties that are just being held on to, and they're not really getting a whole lot of they're not meeting their potential that they could be getting out of it. And so I think it's wonderful that the Wall Street Journal is promoting something which eventually could lead to greater equality. This is the land value tax. It's part of Georgism, and Frederick Engels actually thought it was a good idea, and spoke very highly of it. Not that I'm a Marxist, but what's going on here is that it could achieve greater equality. So when you have greater equality in a classical republic, that means greater harmony and serenity, hence La Serenissima in Venice. Yeah, so until next time, long live the Republic.